Today from the Los Angeles Coliseum, it's the Cleveland Browns versus the Los Angeles Raiders. Brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Chrysler. Chrysler believes a luxury car should be a great driving car. At Chrysler, we're driving to be the best. And by Hewlett-Packard. Computer solutions from the people who never stop asking, what if?
Welcome to the Coliseum in Los Angeles on a beautiful 70-degree day in Southern California. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Joe Namath, and this is a matchup of two teams going in opposite directions. The Raiders are merely playing out the schedule. The Cleveland Browns are vying for a playoff spot. Now, in a big score in that AFC Central, Houston in front of Pittsburgh by the score of 24-16 in the fourth quarter. And for Cleveland, it really comes down in terms of playoff hopes to winning at Pittsburgh next Saturday afternoon. In effect, today they are merely playing for home field advantage if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they need that winning edge. Winning breeds winning. And to go into Pittsburgh convinced that they're a better football team than Pittsburgh, to get into playoffs, they have to believe in themselves. They need to muster up all the momentum possible to go into Pittsburgh next week. They've only won once there in the last 17 games, so they need momentum to get going.
It has been a house of horrors in Pittsburgh for the Cleveland Browns. Bo Jackson sitting it out because of the sprained ankle. So Mark Wilson figures to be going for the long bomb, with that running game certainly affected by the loss of Bo, who is inactive. LA has won the toss. They will receive, and here is the kickoff from Lee Johnson. The return by Dokie Williams. So Williams across the 15-yard line. The Los Angeles Raiders with a record of 5-8. Mark Wilson at quarterback, and the running backs are Marcus Allen and Steve Strahan, the three-year man from Boston College. James Lofton having an excellent season. And that offensive line has been beaten up by injury this season. Holloway, Lewis, Mosbaugh, Miraldi, and the rookie John Clay is back at right tackle. He missed the last 2 weeks with an ankle problem. It is a first down for the Raiders from their 17-yard line. And it is Strahan. Eddie Johnson, the inside linebacker, on the stop. Sam Clancy, Bob Golick, and the man they call Big Daddy, Carl Hairston, up front. Clay Matthews, considered to be the most valuable player on that Cleveland defensive unit this season. And an outstanding secondary led by the guys who like to bark, Minifield and Dixon at the corners. Second down and 8. And Wilson running for it. Gets out to the 24-yard line, an advance of 4. The inside linebacker, Eddie Johnson, on the stop.
Had very good pass protection that time. Mark Wilson could have thrown the ball to James Lofton, maybe gained a few more yards, but Wilson's a bit concerned with turning the ball over. Had 3 interceptions last week. He's been known to eye his receiver too long. Here he gets the good pass protection, but decides to take it upfield for a short gainer.
And it sets up a third down and 4. The Raiders from their 25-yard line. Marcus Allen. And he has the first down. 5-yard advance for Allen, comes in averaging just under 4 per game. He has certainly turned it from a frustrating injury hit year with bad ankles slowing him down last season.
But he's handled the season with a lot of class. You know, they brought in Bo Jackson. Marcus wasn't going to see the kind of playing time that he normally sees. He'd be used as a blocker more, and Marcus, being a team player that he is, adjusted beautifully.
First down for the Raiders from their 30-yard line. They come off the loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, 16-10. It is Allen out to the 36. Inside linebacker Eddie Johnson made the stop, picked up 7. It will be a 2nd and 3. And last week in Kansas City, a controversial penalty-filled game. Raiders generating 400 yards offensively, but scored only 1 touchdown. Another score by Marcus Allen reversed by an instant replay decision, Joe, and the Raiders are not great fans of the instant replay, should be pointed out. 2nd and 3 from the 37. Allen gets to the first down marker, the inside linebacker, Mike Johnson, second-year man from Virginia Tech.
Take these breaks for good yardage.
He was just shy of the first down. It is a 3rd and 1. And now Allen found the hole and picked it up. In fact, picked up 5 on the play. Ray Ellis and Hanford Dixon combining on the stop. Cleveland Browns at 8 and 5 going into today, tied for first with Pittsburgh, 1 game in front of Houston. Now, last Sunday, the Browns beat Cincinnati 38-24 as Kosar threw for 4. Vance Mueller now in the backfield. Second-year man from Occidental. And the draw to Allen did not work. Lost 3 on the play. Darrell Sims on the stop.
Darrell Sims, Bob Golick, they just stuffed that middle right here. Number 78, Carl Harrison, they didn't get pushed off the line one bit. They won the battle in the line of scrimmage that time. Marty Schottenheimer's main concern for his defense is not to give up the big gainer. They isolate their cornerbacks one-on-one so often. They're worried about Dokie Williams and, of course, James Lofton.
It is a 2nd and 13 from the 41. We are just underway at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And it appears to be a delay of game. Been heavily penalized this season among the leaders in that department in the NFL. 2nd and 18 now for Wilson. He has Mueller. So Vance Mueller on a 16-yard pass play. Clay Matthews, the outside linebacker, made the stop. Mueller has outstanding speed. 4th-round draft pick last year. He's averaged about 5 yards per carry.
Mueller has good speed. What happens is Clay Matthews, the linebacker on this side, drops deep to help out on the wide receiver. And Mueller just has an open field with a convoy of blockers in front of him. Matthews really recovers nicely to make the tackle from behind.
Raiders from midfield with a 3rd down and 4. 6 minutes gone by in this first quarter. And Wilson going up top, penalty flag throw. Dokie Williams, the intended receiver, covered by Felix Wright and Frank Minifield. There's Dokie, who caught a couple of touchdown passes against the Browns here last season. And the call is against Cleveland.
Well, on the right side of your screen, Dokie Williams is going to try to break inside, and he'll get grabbed and head upfield. If he's not grabbed over there by Minifield, he might have this for 6 points. This pass protection so far by the Raiders line has been very good. It's going to be a long afternoon for the cornerbacks of the Browns if they don't start getting some pressure from the defensive front and the linebackers back there in the quarterback.
And the Raiders, who have been hammered by injury, are starting their 14th different offensive unit in 14 league games. So they've done a lot of shuffling on that line. First down from the 45. Here is Allen. Got a little extra out of it. Tripped up. Picked up 8 on the play. Minifield and Hairston combining on the stop. And we will take a check around the 10-minute ticker. Seattle in a seesaw battle, leading Chicago now. Houston over Pittsburgh 24-16. So the Oilers looking to stay alive in the AFC Central. Final score, Minnesota knocks off Detroit. Philadelphia came from behind after the Jets had come back. 2nd and 3. Allen try to cut to the outside and cut off. Eddie Johnson, the inside linebacker, on the stop. Johnson with 10 tackles a week ago in the victory over the Cincinnati Bengals.
Marcus taking the ball up the middle. There's nothing there. He has to try and take it outside, and the pursuit comes in from the Browns. The Browns have really been playing the run quite well, and if they could control the the Raider running attack, I almost said it, the running attack, they can get into a good zone coverage to help on the deep passes.
It's a 3rd down and 1. And the first down picked up by Strahan. Mike Johnson on the stop. And it's a 12-yard pass play on the 11th play of the... What will the Raiders do about the quarterback situation?
I think they're going to wait and see for a while. Wilson's contract is up at the end of this season, but he's still better than a lot of quarterbacks around the NFL. They're not going to find many guys better than Mark Wilson that can take his place, whether he is here next year or not. They have plenty of time to make that decision.
Dave Pizzulli has come on for Carl Hairston, who left just a moment ago. First down at the Cleveland 24. Here is Allen looking for the hole. And Pizzulli closed it up. Dave Pizzulli, in his 5th year out of Pittsburgh. Teammates call him the garbage man because he's always around coming up with the sack. Here's Hairston right back. Apparently he's all right.
Now, I know the Raiders have moved the ball here in the first quarter, but that last play is any indication of what we're to see. The defensive line of the Browns are controlling the line of scrimmage right now.
It is a 2nd and 10 from the 24. And now on the slant. 3-yard pickup for Allen. The free safety, Felix Wright, came up.
Marcus is so quick at hitting the hole and making cuts. If Felix Wright doesn't come up and field quickly here, as he does very nicely, then Marcus has a big gainer.
3rd and 7 at the 21. Wilson getting the time. And it is incomplete, intended for Dokie Williams. Minifield on the coverage. And the field goal unit coming on, Chris Barr.
It's a 4th down, 7 yards to go.
In the 4th and 7. Will attempt the field goal, 17 out of 25 this season. Last week hit from 23, missed from 32. This a 39-yard attempt. Chris Barr today going in a family battle with Matt Barr, the Cleveland Browns kicker. And it is put right through. 39-yard field goal for Chris Barr in his 12th year out of Penn State. And the Raiders take a 3-0 lead with 6:24 remaining in this first quarter. So the Raiders now will... Ankle was not worth risking, and they are hoping that he will play in the finale next week.
You know, I still find it weird to accept. I'm from Western Pennsylvania. Marv, you're New York. We have the people back in Cleveland watching this game. Here we are a week away from Christmas, and this weather out here, 70 degrees, sun and shining, you know, it's kind of difficult for me to get into the Christmas mood, you know, being surrounded by all the sunshine and lack of snow.
Joe, you always had a good imagination, though.
Well, I'm trying. You look at our picture now and
Yes.
let the imagination run away with you.
Joe.
It's Christmas time. That's right. Barr put that gentle draw on that last field goal. Did you know that? He's quite a golfer. He's down around a 3 or 4 handicap, and that's a mighty fine player. That last field goal just did get inside the right upright.
The Raiders using 8 minutes and 36 seconds on a 14-play drive. And Chris Barr getting set to kick it off to the combination of Glenn Young, Reggie Langhorne, Herman Fontenot. And this is Young on the return. Glenn Young, who's had an outstanding year, averaging about 23 yards at left tackle, taking over for the injured Ricky Bolden. First down at the 27 for the Browns. The Raiders lead it by the score of 3-0. And Kosar puts it up. Very first play, looking for Webster Slaughter, and a flag throw. Sam Seal, who was called for 2 pass interference penalties a week ago, is the man once again. There he is in his 4th season out of Western State. And he has been very active verbally. He called Webster Slaughter a sissy, and that was the nicest thing he said about him during the course of the week. That's a 39-yard penalty. First down for Cleveland at the Raider 34-yard line. Here's Kevin Mack. Picked up 4. It'll be a 2nd down and 6. Malcolm Taylor, the nose tackle on the stop. Howie Long, Sean Jones, Malcolm Taylor up front. Linebackers, Jerry Robinson has made the successful switch inside. It's King, Millen, Robinson, and Martin. And the secondary with Turan, McElroy, Seal, and Washington. McElroy and Turan having super seasons. Second down play, and it's Ernest Biner for the short pickup. Advance of 3, and there is Lester Hayes. And he is particularly unhappy that he's not been able to go against Webster Slaughter, who also, it should be pointed out, likes to talk. Hayes said that Slaughter thinks he's a 5'10" version of King Kong. He says he's a cocky juvenile.
That's a lot of talk coming from a guy that's not playing right now.
It's a 3rd down and 3 at the Raider 27. Raiders 3 and the Browns nothing. 4:50 to go in this first quarter. Big rush, but Kozar completed to Fontenot. And Fontenot inside the 5. 25-yard pass play, so the Browns for the 1st and goal. Really blossomed last year when Cleveland diversified that offensive alignment. 1st and goal from the 2, and Kozar throws for the touchdown. Ernest Biner getting in. Doing it in front of Stacy Turan. And the Browns take a 6-3 lead, and the key play, that interference call on the quarterback, Sam Seal, that cost 39 yards.
For only a 2-yard touchdown, or try to protect 2 yards.
And here's Chris's younger brother, Matt Barr, putting it through. Matt Barr reactivated last week. He'd been out with a knee injury, came on for the rookie Jeff Jager as the Browns revamped in Los Angeles. The Browns have just taken a 7-3 lead on the Raiders. Marv Albert with Joe Namath from the Coliseum in L.A. Stephon Adams on the return. Makes it across the 25-yard line. Well, the Houston Oilers go to 8-6 as they knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are now 8-0. And they have really had their problems at Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. Marcus Allen, Steve Strahan on the running backs. 1st down for the 25 as Wilson goes sideline, incomplete. Intended for James Lofton. That's the first time that he has looked for Lofton. And for Dixon, the right corner, on the coverage.
Yeah, Hanford Dixon was on the coverage, but he was about 3 or 4 yards off Lofton. He certainly respects Lofton's speed. The ball is just high and away. If the pass is down, Lofton has a good reception. It's actually a catchable pass. This is the kind of pass you'd expect Lofton to be able to pull down.
Talking about the Raider quarterback situation, Jim Plunkett, 40 years old now, and it was thought that this would be his finale. He's out. He's been injured, but he says now he does want to try it for 1 more year next season. Marcus Allen with a good second effort and picked up 4 on the play. Carl Hairston, the right defensive end, made the stop.
Now, this is the kind of move we alluded to earlier. You'll see Allen trying to get outside. He'll stop and then cut back. Sam Clancy, number 91, has the outside cut off along with Pizzoli. Marcus finds that little hole, ducks underneath, and he's able to turn a bad play into a positive play and gain some yardage.
It is a 3rd down and 5. Raiders go with Lofton, Hester, and Williams as they line up in a slot right. Intended for Allen. And a penalty flag is down. Referee today is Red Cashin. The hold against the Raiders.
Pro Bowls with the Raiders. He coaches their offensive line now, and he has very high hopes for this young man, John Clay.
And here is Stan Talley punting to Gerald McNeil. And Talley and the Raiders get the roll. Eddie Anderson covering it up. It's a 47-yard punt for Talley, the man who took over for one of the all-time greats, Ray Guy. And the Browns will go back to the offense from their 24-yard. Ernest Biner, Kevin Mack, the running backs. Miner is out as a flanker at the near side. So Mack is the lone setback. And Mack on the handoff went for 3. And we have some fisticuffs. There's a face mask and then a square off.
I know it's not just the Raiders and their style of football, but it seems over the years, every time they play, I see some kind of fisticuffs going on.
We've got personal fouls for face mask, number 84 on the Raiders, number 75 on the Browns. They offset the second half.
The Browns have always, the Raiders have always been an excellent football team, or close to it, wasting their time out there.
And that was Webster Slaughter who got involved. In fact, he and Howie Long were called on the penalties, cashing, reversing the numbers. It is a 2nd and 7 from the 27. And penalty flags are thrown. Play was blown dead. Get back to a 2nd and 12 at the 22-yard line. Minute 45 remaining. And then the Browns, helped by that pass interference on the right corner, Sam Seal, able to put up 7 points within 4 plays. Off the draw, a call for Ernest Biner. Ron Martin, the outside linebacker, on the stop. A 7-yard advance.
Draw play right up the middle. You see the gap, the 2 linemen both rush upfield, and we see a very often. They're too big. They don't have that good lateral movement. Farron does.
It is a 3rd down and 5. 45 seconds left in this first quarter. Kosar throwing sideline, and a flag is down again. Pass intended for Biner. So this has certainly been a whistle-happy first quarter. It's called against the Raiders.
Holding, number 48 on the defense, first down.
Lionel Washington, the left cornerback, man who has replaced the injured Lester Hayes, called on the penalty. So 3 now assessed on the Raiders, 2 on the Browns.
Yeah, Washington got isolated with Reggie Langhorne that time, and Langhorne put a nice move on him and broke to the inside, and when he did, Washington just grabbed him.
And Kosar has a first down at the Cleveland 34. 35 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Here's Mack. Picked up a yard on the play, and again flags thrown, and again some extracurricular action. Robinson and Taylor on the stop, and Reggie Langhorne is constantly in the midst of it.
Yes, and so is Lionel.
Number 48 on the defense, first down.
Lionel Washington is the man called.
So is Lionel Washington. They're trying to establish
Monday night and lose again here today. Marv Albert and Joe Namath from the Coliseum in Los Angeles were winding down in the first quarter. The Browns leading the Raiders by the score of 7-3, and it's a first down from midfield. Brian Brennan with his first reception, picked up 7. Lionel Washington on the stop as this first quarter comes to a close. So at the end of 1, the Browns 7, the Raiders 3. We'll be back here in Los Angeles in just a moment. Cleveland Browns with a record of 8-5. Coming off the victory over Cincinnati last week. The Raiders 5 up and 8 down. They were beaten by the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Marty Schottenheimer, the AFC Coach of the Year last season, and it took over. Browns midway through the '84 season took over a 1-7 team from Sam Rutigliano. Last year they went 12-4, taking the AFC Central and came within a game of the Super Bowl. Second down play for Cleveland. Ernest Binder stopped by the nose tackle Malcolm Taylor.
Malcolm Taylor on the tackle. Assisted by Stacey Duran.
Short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Browns at the Raider 42-yard line. Last week against the Bengals, Kosar throwing a career-high 14 touchdowns again. No interceptions, and that has been the key with Bernie Kosar. Flag thrown. Brian Brennan on the reception. And has the first down inside the 25. 18-yard pass play. Rod Martin on the stop.
Offside. Number 99 on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
So it is Sean Jones, the right defensive end, called on the offside. And a Raider player shaken up. Raiders free safety Van McElroy shaken up a moment ago. Mike Haynes, injured Raider. Behind him, Eddie Anderson, one of the replacement players out of Fort Valley State, second-year player, replacing McElroy at the safety position. First down from the 24. Kosar off the roll, able to complete. Webster Slaughter short of the first down. The right corner, Sam Seal on the stop. An advance of 8.
Bernie Kosar does so many things well. Here he's on the run and he throws a perfect pass across there. And he had to get the ball out because Howie Long was all over him. People have been saying, where's Howie Long been this season? Where's Howie Long been? Statistically, he hasn't had the numbers, but he usually has 2 guys assigned to him. That time only 1, and he put pressure on Kosar, but Bernie delivered.
They're calling it a 2nd and 3. So make it pickup of 7. Kosar is 5 for 5, 58 yards. And Brennan caught it out of bounds. It is incomplete.
Ryan Brennan, the intended receiver. Lionel Washington on the coverage.
That take care of you.
It is a 3rd down and 3 for the Browns at the Raiders 17. We're early second quarter. The Browns 7, the Raiders 3. And Kosar counters man Webster Slaughter, and he has a 1st and goal inside the 10. Again, the short pass working to perfection. Another 8-yard pickup. Sam Seal made the stop.
Well, what happened? Webster Slaughter read the blitz. Bernie Kosar read the safety blitz. Turan, number 30, is coming up the middle, and he nearly comes clean on the left side of your screen. And Bernie Kosar reads it along with Webster Slaughter. Slaughter has a good reception. All Slaughter does is when he sees that safety leave that spot, he'll come off the line of scrimmage and slant over the middle, just get inside position on Seal, as he just did.
Bernie Kosar is the type of quarterback who rarely has a bad game twice against the same team. Van McElroy heading to the locker room. And he did not have a good one last year at the Coliseum here against the Raiders. And I'm told he worked harder and longer during the course of practice this week. And Kosar certainly off to a strong. With Houston knocking off Pittsburgh earlier today, it comes down to this. If Cleveland wins at Pittsburgh next Saturday, they win the AFC Central. The Browns in front of the Raiders here, 7-3. We're early second quarter. Browns 1st and goal from the 9. Again, the flag as Kosar throws for the touchdown. 9-yard touchdown pass to Clarence Weathers, who beat Sam Seal, but the penalty against the Browns, so they will bring it back.
Earlier, we alluded to the mental errors that can hurt a team, not knowing your snap count, jumping off sides, forgetting what play it is. These are the kind of things that drive coaches nuts. And
set it back to a 1st and goal now from the 14-yard line. Short setup by Kozar, through the bullet to Brian Brennan. It's a touchdown-saving tackle by Lionel Washington. 12-yard play. It'll be a 2nd and goal inside the 3.
Kozar is at his sharpest. He hasn't missed a receiver yet. Been practicing back there in Cleveland and experienced those wind conditions and all that cold weather. He comes out here in the sunshine and he is hot.
And he's hit 7 out of 8. Of course, he is used to the sunshine from his days at the University of Miami. It'll be a 2nd and goal inside the 3. That was stopped, stacked up. Kevin Mack comes off a career day, 133 yards last week against Cincinnati, ran for a touchdown and caught a touchdown. This time was bottled up.
Yeah, well, Howie Long, number 75, just pushed Cody Rison back into the backfield in the pursuit. The rest of the Raiders just made a big pile there. There wasn't any place to go.
There's Howie Long, number 75. He admits he has not had one of his banner All-Pro years, but he feels he's received some unfair criticism, particularly from broadcasters around the country. Kozar throwing, and it is broken up. Eddie Anderson, the man who replaced the injured Van McElroy at free safety, got a piece of it. It was intended for the tight end, Derek Tinnell.
Eddie Anderson just makes a good play. It's a nice fake. The ball is out in front in good shape here, but Anderson gets a hand on it. That's just excellent coverage.
And the field goal unit checks in. This will be a 20-yard attempt by Matt Barr, who last week in his first game back hit from 27 against Cincinnati. The rookie Jeff Jager placed on the inactive list. They wanted the experience of Barr down the stretch, and Barr has provided a 10-3 lead for Cleveland. We'll be back after these messages.
Has missed a few guys that were open, and those are the plays that stopped the drives, actually.
And we're set for the kickoff, sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Woods and Mueller are back. And this is Vance Mueller breaking tackles. Good return by Mueller, the second-year man from Occidental. He went 24 yards on the return. Lucius Sanford got him out of bounds. And so the LA Raiders now back to the offense. And we'll be back here at the Coliseum. All right, Bob, and there's Bo Jackson sitting it out today. You think he should work on his neck muscles a little, Joe?
Get a little bulk in there. Yeah. Build up that chest and those back muscles, too.
So with Bo sitting out, it's Marcus Allen and Steve Strahan on the backfield. And Wilson able to complete. Strahan, a 3-year player from Boston College. Picked up 14 for the first down. Clay Matthews on the stop.
Two very good things for the Raiders on that play. One, the pass protection. Wilson wanted to get the ball to Christensen as tight end. He was covered. He had the time to come off Christensen and get to Strahan. Two big pluses for the Raider offense.
And the Raiders now first down from their 43. The Browns 10 and the Raiders 3. Marcus Allen picked up a couple out to the 45-yard line. Getting back to the subject of Bo Jackson, he insists that he will be playing baseball years after he has finished with football. In fact, he plans to return to Auburn and work out in baseball, supervised by Auburn baseball coach Hal Beard, who happened to be a one-time roommate of John Wathen, the manager of the Kansas City Royals, and he says he'll be a baseball player. All right, Wilson under pressure, able to get it away, and it was nearly intercepted. The pass intended for Lofton. Minifield had a shot at it.
Nearly intercepted by Minifield, and nearly an outstanding play by Mark Wilson. If he has the ball out in front a little more, it's complete. Minifield nearly gets the 6-point interception. Clay Matthews, 57, comes clean, but he's picked up nicely. I don't know, it's almost an in-the-grasp call by Harrison there. We've seen worse in-the-grasp calls than this made during the season. And here's the near interception by 31 Minifield. What an effort.
Yes, Carl Hairston was right on the scene. 3rd down and 8 from the 45. And again the pressure, and this time the sack is registered. Sam Clancy, the 6'7", 260-pounder out of the University of Pittsburgh, coming up with his 2nd sack of the year. Sam Clancy filling in for the injured Reggie Camp, who incidentally might return next week.
On the right side of your screen, number 91, Sam Clancy gets around Lewis to make the sack. You know, the very first pass that was incomplete thrown by Wilson, I heard some boos. These people can't wait to get on Mark Wilson's case. Because he was sacked this last play, we heard a chorus of boos. It wasn't because the lineman was beaten. It was because Wilson got caught with the football. They don't like Wilson here in Los Angeles.
And there's the Ice Cube, Jerry McNeil, awaiting the punt from Stan Talley. That sack producing a loss of 14. McNeil to the 25. And returns across the 30-yard line. Andy Parker making the stop. 44-yard punt and a 16-yard return. The Browns 10. The Raiders 3. We'll be right back in action. He hurt his rib earlier this first half. X-rays came out negative, and he is back. So Eddie Anderson to the sideline. Ben McElroy having a Pro Bowl season. Made it in '83 and '84 and has been outstanding. So the Cleveland Browns now first down with 8:50 remaining. In this first half, they start out from their 33-yard line. Kozar throws it up on first down once again. It was looking for Webster Slaughter. Seal and McElroy on the coverage of Slaughter.
Cleveland's offense certainly isn't shy about putting the ball over top and going long. Now, the Raiders have a couple of backup cornerbacks playing in Seal and Washington, and obviously the Browns want to take advantage of that. The other thing is the Raiders are putting 4 defensive linemen in the game on first down, so rather than run at it, Cleveland's been trying to throw on first down.
Kozar is 7 for 10 now, 78 yards, and now they go to the run. Short pickup for Kevin Mack. Third NFL backfield to produce 2 1,000-yard rushers. 3rd down 8 at the 35. And it is completed to Clarence Weathers for the first down. Ron Fellows, the nickelback, made the stop, a 13-yard pass play.
On the right side of your screen, Clarence Weathers is just going to run an out pattern. This is the 2nd time he's been able to beat Ron Fellows. Once it was called back because of a penalty. Fellows, of course, was starting last week for Lionel Washington, but Washington's availability this week forces Fellows to play in the nickel dime coverage.
Fellows started the last couple of games. One-time Dallas Cowboy, Ron Fellows. And the Browns with a first down from their 47. A short set by Kozar completes to Slaughter. Webster Slaughter putting a move on Sam Seal and picked up 23 yards.
Once again, the Raiders' intentions are to stop the running game. They isolate Seal out here one-on-one with Webster Slaughter, and the missed tackle by Seal allows Slaughter to gain extra yardage. I like the way Cleveland's attacking this 4-man front. They're not shy about passing the football on first down. see so many teams want to establish the run, you know, and go to the pass on second and third down. Schottenheimer and Fonte offense is geared to throw the ball anytime and often.
And Kozar opened up by coming out throwing, and it has worked. Another first down for the Browns, this time inside the Raider 30. Minor off the left side, picked up 6. Malcolm Taylor, the nose tackle on the stop. We've seen a bit of Bill Pickel here in the first half, who has been sitting it out because of an ankle injury, but Pickel has seen some action. You see Ernest Biner having his difficulties.
A major key to the
out with the Browns in front of the Raiders by the score. Herman Fontenot has replaced Ernest Biner now for the second down and 5 at the Raider 24. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Browns 10, the Raiders 3, as Kozar completes again. Webster Slaughter and his forward progress stopped, picked up 9, and another Cleveland first down. Sam Seal on the coverage. We've been talking about all the difficulties the Raider cornerbacks have been experienced. What do you do to ward off the problems that the cornerbacks have been having?
Well, you have to give them help with your safeties. To do that, to give them zone coverage, inside help, outside help, or deep help, it takes away from the safety support on the running game. So their run defense isn't going to be as good if they give the corners help. And right now their pass coverage isn't good because they're trying to stop the Cleveland run game.
It is a first down at the 15. It's Biner. What a block and what a run off the huge hole by Biner. He went 15 yards for the score. So apparently Ernest Biner is just fine after he had the wind knocked out of him.
And he put a move on Van McElroy that you don't see very many big men that can do it. Look at his cut. Van McElroy, the all-pro safety, isn't used to seeing a man Biner's size be able to cut that crisply, that sharply, that fast. Number 61, the center, Babb, just does a terrific job of Pickel blocking him out of the way, and the rest of it is Byron.
And a penalty marker is down.
Offside, number 21 on the defense. Point is good. It'll be 5 yards on the kickoff.
So the call against Ron Fellows, defensive back, as the Cleveland Browns take a 17-3 lead on the Los Angeles Raiders. Cleveland, the #1 scoring team in the AFC, and they have also allowed the fewest points in the NFL going into today's play. A very nice combination.
Now we'll see, with the 17-3 lead by Cleveland, we'll see how badly the Raiders want to play today. We have a lot of football time left. The Raiders are down. We'll just see how much pride they have and how deep down they want to dig to end this season on an up note, a positive note.
At one point, the Raiders lost 7 in a row, their longest losing streak since 1962. They opened up at 3-0. The replacement team then lost 2 straight, so during the strike they were 1-2. The regulars came back and dropped 5 in a row. Raiders then won 2 of 3. The 2 wins impressive over Seattle and Buffalo, and they were beaten last week by Kansas City.
It's a good reason for those 5 losses in a row, though, Marv. You see, the Raiders are putting together an offensive line. They have Brian Holloway, a veteran, but his first season here with the Raiders. They have the rookie John Clay at tackle. They had some injuries to that offensive line. Now, the same time they're trying to put the line together, they were working in a new quarterback, Rusty Hilger. It's very difficult to build an offensive line and work in a new young quarterback at the same time. You end up losing 5 straight, 7 straight counting replacement games.
And the Raiders opened up the season by thinking in terms of Hilger as their #1 quarterback. It did not work out in that manner. Raiders will start out from their 20-yard line. 6 minutes to go in this.
Even today, you know, if he doesn't get things going, they won't hesitate to put Rusty Hilger in the game.
Man who certainly had his ups and downs. The first-round draft pick of the Raiders back in 1980. And Wilson looking, could not find anybody, and then went the short route. So out to the 25, Marcus Allen picked up 5. Eddie Johnson, the inside linebacker, on the stop.
Now Wilson keeps his cool here. He looks around for receivers. There's good coverage downfield by the Browns, and Wilson's able to get this ball out here at the last second to Marcus Allen, who turns the play into a gainer. But that was good presence of mind by Mark Wilson.
Good rush by Sam Clancy. It'll be a 2nd and 5 at the 25. Marcus Allen. Short pickup. Carl Hairston on the stop. Hairston has played so well that his teammate Al Baker said of Carl that he could be the first player to collect a Pro Bowl check and a Social Security check at the same time. Carl Hairston, who celebrated his 35th birthday this past week. Because Al Bubba Baker also getting up there in age. He's a 10-year man. 3rd down and 4 from the 26. Wilson running out of the pocket for the first down. And some more. 17-yard run. Felix Wright, the free safety, was right there as Wilson made that slide into 3rd.
Well, Wilson recognizes that it's man coverage. He sees the linebacker run out of the way right now. He knows that all the defenders are assigned to receivers and that he has enough room to get the first down. That's why he took the ball upfield. The difference between a zone coverage and a man coverage allows the quarterback to take the ball upfield more quickly.
Raiders first down from their 42. And it's a swing to Allen. Reaching out to the 48, picked up 6. It will be a 2nd and 4. And players had to be separated. It has been testy since the first quarter. The main eventers earlier were Van McElroy and Reggie Langhorne. Here are the later games. Indianapolis in front of San Diego. San Francisco 7-0 on Atlanta. And St. Louis and Tampa Bay are tied at 7. Earlier, the New England Patriots won, so they are very much in it. They can win next week, and if Indianapolis loses once, the Patriots will win the AFC East. Penalty flag is thrown with Marcus Allen getting across midfield. And it's against the Raiders.
Holding, number 39 on the offense. Still first down.
Steve Strahan, the other running back, is called for the hold.
Well, that's what this offense of the Raiders misses too. You see, with Bo Jackson out of there, they're missing the blocking ability of Marcus Allen being able to lead the way for Bo Jackson. They're missing Jackson's blocking ability. Strahan's a good back, but he is not Marcus Allen or Bo Jackson.
And now they're missing Doki Williams. They're going to take a look at him. He sprained his left knee. A completion to the tight end, Todd Christensen, for 11. And for Christensen, his first catch of the day.
Christensen's probably the best tight end in the league at getting open without pushing off. He really takes a beating from the linebackers. Here you see him trying to get downfield, and does he attract the crowd? His timing is good. He knows when to break underneath, and Wilson's right there with the pass. But Christensen can get away from the linebackers better than any other tight end in the league.
And usually takes a pretty good pounding in the process. Short of the first down, it's a 3rd down and 3. Intended for Lofton. And Felix Wright and James Lofton involved in some pushing and shoving.
Well, this is what we were talking about earlier. The difference in this game so far has been the quarterbacking. Kozar has been on target. Malone hasn't been consistent. Mark Wilson hasn't been consistent.
Freudian
All right.
slip.
Well,
Whoa.
they both wear black uniforms
yes,
to some degree, right? Black jerseys or something. But Wilson hasn't been as sharp. Here he had Lofton wide open and overthrew the pass. If he gets the ball down, the Raiders still have the ball, maybe some points.
And here is Stan Talley. He'll punt from inside his 35. The Ice Cube, Gerald McNeil, is back at his 10. And McNeil takes from his 15, putting the speed on. 36-yard punt and a 27-yard return. The punter, Talley, on the tackle. Gerald McNeil.
When you're running out this, I guess, the string, so to speak.
And a first down for the Browns from their 42-yard line. Marv Albert, Joe Namath from the Coliseum of Los Angeles on a beautiful 70-degree afternoon. Kozar with a bullet. Langhorne picked up 22 on the play. Stacy Turan, the strong safety, on the tackle of Reggie Langhorne.
What we're seeing is a team trying to get into the playoffs and simply outplaying the other team. Langhorne gets inside of number 48, Lionel Washington, and just outruns him. Kozar puts the ball right on target.
2 minutes to go now in this first half. Cleveland 17, the LA Raiders 3. We'll be right back. Had to settle for a field goal. It has been all Cleveland, sparked by Bernie Kosar. And Kozar now leading the drive again. First down at the Raider 37. The Browns 17. The Raiders 3. 2 minutes to go. First half. Kozar getting the time and completing again. Webster Slaughter inside the 20 for another first down. An 18-yard pickup. And a flag has been thrown. It is in the Cleveland backfield. And Marty Schottenheimer not pleased.
Holding, number 74 on the offense, still first down.
The left tackle, Paul Farron, is called on the hole. Farron, the man who's taken over for the injured Ricky Bolden.
On the left side of your screen, number 74 gets called for holding. Kozar has a good drop, but you see he's holding Mr. Jones. Jones kind of put that arm underneath Farron's blocking arm, and Farron clamped down on him. They're going to call that, but they don't call that as often this year as they have been calling in the past.
So it sets it back first down at 20 from the 47. And Kozar throwing behind Brennan, and again a marker is down. James Davis on the coverage of Brian Brennan, this time against the Raiders.
Holding, number 45 on the defense, first down.
That's James Davis, defensive back in his 6th season out of Southern University.
James grabs him right there, and just that's enough to let the official know that it's not a fair play. You're not allowed to grab him, James. You know, I mentioned that they weren't calling these holding penalties on the offensive lineman as often as they have in the past. Howie Long especially has been noted for rushing the passer, and when he gets to a tackle, he slips his arm up underneath the pads of the offensive player. The officials are telling the defenders they put themselves in that position now, and they're not calling that holding on the offensive lineman as often.
And the Browns first down at the Raider, 42, minute 45 left in the first half. Kozar released quickly. Oh, what a hit on Ernest Biner by Van McElroy. Biner's all right. 20-yard pickup. Ernest Biner goes 5'10", a very solid 215 pounds. Browns quickly to the line of scrimmage, and it is McElroy who was shaken up.
Well, he hurt those ribs earlier. Lionel Washington, his cornerback, ran into him earlier. This time he takes a good lick. Biner's a load, you know, and you know, we're seeing some beautiful passing from Kozar.
He has been right on target this first half. Let's take a timeout. Touchdown passes thrown by Kozar. Herman Fontenot is back replacing Ernest Biner. And a first down at the Raider 21, a minute and 22 to go in the first half. Again, Kozar got the time, flag down. Pass intended for Fontenot, covered by Rod Martin. But another marker is down against the Browns. Risen called for the illegal use of hands, so it sets it to a 1st and 20 back at the 31. Minute 15 left in the first half. Completed to Slaughter. So Webster Slaughter having a fine first half against the cornerman Sam Seal. Picked up another 15, his 5th catch of the day.
Sure, he just fakes Seal out, gets on his inside, and it becomes a foot race running cross field. Brennan clears the area out, and Slaughter's wide open.
2nd down 8 from the 19. And one of the, I guess that may be the first drop we've seen today. Ryan Brennan not able to hang on. James Davis on the coverage.
For the first time, Kozar has been really off target. The ball should have been a little bit outside, but he had it inside, and Brennan couldn't quite get the handle on it. But again, it was another timing type play. The receiver wasn't turned around yet. Brennan just now gets turned around, and the ball's a little bit too far to his inside. Could give the credit to the defense that time, too. James Davis didn't want to let Brennan turn back inside. Good coverage.
3rd down 8 from the 19. Incomplete. Intended for Langhorne. Now check that for McNeil. Lionel Washington on the coverage with 44 seconds remaining in this first half. Coming up at halftime, all the scores and highlights. Look at the very complex playoff picture. Bob Costas, NFL Live. Joe, you were going to run down all the possibilities. Let Bob do it. What the heck? 37-yard field goal attempt from Matt Barr. No good. And hit the upright. So Barr not able to hit.
He doesn't quite have the draw that his brother Chris has on the ball. If you recall, Chris made his first one just inside that upright, and Matt's ball just hung to the outside that time, hit the upright.
Earlier, he hit from 20 yards away to extend to a 10-3 lead, and now missed from 39 yards. So with 40 seconds remaining in this first half, the Raiders take over at their 20-yard line. Wilson goes the short route for Allen. Short of the first down with 34 seconds to go. The clock stopped, picked up 6. 2nd down and 4. Marcus Allen 2 years ago led the NFL in rushing with 1,700 yards. He can run, catch, throw, block, and as a couple of teammates say, also looks good in the lobby after the game. That is the complete player. 2nd down and 3 from the 27. Wilson in trouble. He just throws it away. And the Browns looking for a call. No receiver in sight, but no flag down.
Good play by number 78, Carl Harrison, putting pressure on Wilson, and it was a good play on Mark Wilson's behalf to find an area of the field to get rid of the ball to avoid the loss. Wilson can't find a receiver. You see 78 Carl Harrison in pursuit along with Al Baker, 60, and hey, there's no place for Wilson to go. He does the right thing here.
3rd down play with 27 seconds remaining in the half. And the Raiders are hearing it from the crowd as Marcus Allen takes it across the 30. And a timeout has been called. Marcus Allen is down.
Marcus taking the ball outside. It appeared he hurt his left side, either his left leg or... Let's watch the left side of his body here as it hits the ground.
Right on the elbow.
Is he a tough guy or what? Look at Marcus. He bounces right up, huh? Oops. I don't know how these running backs could do it. I used to watch these guys on a Monday morning after a game. I could barely get out of bed, and I was just a quarterback. I only got hit a few times.
No, that's another story. Wait a second.
Hey, buddy. But I mean, these running backs play in and play out. They're either blocking or they're getting hit, man. They must feel awful the day after a game.
Down to 22 seconds. Raiders from across their 30. And Wilson again throws it and completes to Vance Mueller. 15 seconds to go in the half. Mark Hopper, the extra defensive back, on the coverage. 13-yard pass play. There's Vance Mueller, 4th-round draft pick last season.
Problem with Wilson has been his inconsistency. Here you see him turn around, run to his left, and throw a perfect pass, you know, and he has a receiver open in Lofton a while ago and misses him. Wilson's just been inconsistent from season to season.
And penalty flags being tossed as Wilson again sees everyone covered. And fortunate that he was not.
Well, with 7 seconds left, there's not much the Raiders can do except go downtown, I would think, even if they complete a pass. Well, they could complete an out for 10, 15 yards, maybe in 6 seconds, but that's too close. That's cutting it too close. I think they're going to have to go for the long ball in the next play.
Holding number 37 on the defense. That penalty is declined. Offside, number 72 on the defense. That penalty is accepted. It's first down and 5.
So the penalty against number 72, Dave Pazzulli, is accepted. Double jeopardy here. Chris Rockins also called on the penalty. Only 7 seconds remaining. The ball spotted at midfield. It's been all Browns, led by Bernie Kosar, who has had a magnificent first half. Wilson has to go short range, and that will do it for the half. And Marcus Allen on the reception picked up 8, and the Raiders hearing it from the crowd. Head coach Tom Flores for the second straight season in an also-ran situation, and he's trailing the Browns at halftime. We said right at the start that the Raiders should go for the long bomb. This kickoff, incidentally, sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. We have not seen Mark Wilson go for the long bomb, but one of the factors is the absence of Doki Williams, who is now sidelined because of a strained left knee.
But he has James Lofton, a premier deep threat in the game, or one of them along with Jerry Rice. They tried to get to Lofton once downfield reasonably deep. He was open, but Wilson overthrew him. The thing that's helped the Browns so far is Bernie Kosar. Now, the Raiders are trying to get some pressure back there on the quarterback to prevent their cornerbacks from being out there all day long one-on-one. But every time a defensive man gets close to Kosar, he reads it and he gets rid of the ball. His timing has been wonderful today.
All right, Chris Barr kicking off to Glenn Young. Young, the deep man. Good kick. And Young from his goal line. Out to the 20. Glenn Young, the 4-year pro from Mississippi State. And here comes Bernie Kosar. Very impressive first half for Kosar. And the Browns actually playing catch-up in terms of time of possession. You recall the Raiders had it for almost the entire first half of the first quarter.
They only got 3 points. The Browns didn't give up the long gainer.
All right, Kevin Mack, the lone deep back. Ernest Biner flanked out to the left side as we get underway in this third quarter. First down, the Browns from their 21. Raiders are throwing on first down. A beautiful timing pattern for Webster Slaughter. And it was fumbled and recovered by the Raiders. Sam Seal after the 41-yard reception.
Seal just stole the ball. He just took it away from Webster Slaughter this time. Slaughter in the middle of your screen, number 84, just runs a straight pass route, runs just past Seal. The ball is right there. Now Seal just reach in and grab the ball. Look, he takes it away from him. Hey, that's what I found.
That is a clean swipe by Sam Seal.
Truly a theft, huh? Tell you, that's not giving up. Seal was beaten, but he wouldn't give up. He came back with the second effort and turned it into a good play. A nice play by Sam Seal.
Sam Seal, the man replacing the injured All-Pro Mike Haynes, getting the ball back to the Raiders. And Wilson able to complete at midfield to James Lofton. Stopped by the combination of Frank Benefield and Ray Ellis.
That's what we're talking about, getting the ball downfield deep to Lofton. Now, to do that, they're going to have good pass protection, and Wilson's been getting good pass protection this entire game, but they've been trying to hit the intermediate passes. They need to go deep to Lofton and more often.
18-yard pass play. Lofton with his first catch of the day and a first down at the 46-yard line in Cleveland territory. Here's Allen. And Marcus Allen is stopped at the 45 by the inside linebacker, Mike Johnson. Up front, the Raiders with Don Mosbar at center, Bill Lewis, Dean Miraldi at the guards, Brian Holloway, and the rookie from Missouri, #1 draft pick John Clay at the tackles. Brian Holloway was a question mark for today. His wife gave birth to twins last Monday in Boston, and Brian had spent most of the week back in Boston. 2nd and 9 as Wilson airs one out. And for Dixon on the coverage of James Lofton.
Step for step with Lofton was Hanford Dixon right there. The ball, had it been thrown perfectly, would have been intercepted. You want to go deep, but when you see the guy has that kind of coverage, you'd like to have an alternative receiver to come off of. At the top of the screen on the top right, you see Hanford Dixon in excellent position. If the ball is on target, Dixon's going to intercept it.
So James Lofton is now a target, and coming into today averaging 22 yards per catch. That is the best in the AFC. 3rd down and 9. And the Raiders pick up the first down. Marcus Allen stopped by Clay Matthews and Frank Benefield. Is he calling the next play, Joe? Is that? Mark Wilson looking at the youngster and saying, yes, good idea.
That's the right
play.
play.
With #1.
That's right. We'll go with #1 pass pattern.
A 12-yard advance. So Mark Wilson has come out sharp here in this 3rd quarter. Has a first down at the Cleveland 34. Strahan and Allen are the running backs. Short setup, and it's Lofton. Getting to the 26-yard line, Frank Benefield on the stop. Picked up 8.
It's amazing when you catch a deep pass, 15, 18-yarder, how that cornerback will lay off you. You see Benefield was a good 5 yards off of him, and Chris Rockin, number 37, couldn't get underneath. One pass completion to a wide receiver deep is going to change the whole look the defense will give you. They get afraid. They don't want to give up the quick touchdown.
Lofton now split to the left side, top of your screen for the 2nd down and 2. And Wilson going that way. Incomplete. Hanford Dixon on the coverage. Lofton with a mild complaint.
Mild, yeah. You didn't see Lofton complain a great deal because Dixon was in excellent shape once again. It's twice he step for step. He does give him a little bump here, you see, but he's going for the ball. He was turned looking for the ball, Dixon was, and obviously the official didn't think it was interference.
And for Dixon plays the aggressive bump and run. He's one of the NFL's best cornermen. Made the Pro Bowl last year with 5 interceptions. 3rd down and 2. Raiders go triple tight end. Wilson off the roll and throws the other way and has the first down. Todd Christensen on a 7-yard pickup, his second catch of the afternoon.
Good communication between Wilson and Christensen. Christensen saw the zone coverage. The linebacker was to his front side or to his left, and he just stopped and went back to find the dead area. It's a good pull up here by Wilson. He sees he can't get outside and looks back for Christensen, who finds the open spot.
Raiders now first down at the Browns 18, 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Here's Allen with the hole, getting inside the 15. Mike Johnson, man who leads the Cleveland Browns in total tackles. Inside linebacker on the right, stopping Allen.
Well, he didn't stop Marcus cold, that's for sure. Marcus Allen and Mike Johnson collide rather viciously here, and you'll see Marcus Allen wins that battle. He gets an extra yard, yard and a half, maybe 2 with his forward body lead. He's a strong running back as well as quick. Good receiver out of the backfield. All-pro Marcus Allen.
And he's caught 7 passes today. Second down and 5. Wilson had the time and broken up. Frank Minifield getting a piece of it. The intended receiver, Jesse Hester.
Classic example of the quarterback not being set when he's throwing the football. Mark was a little off balance and he couldn't put enough heat on the ball. If you watch his footwork, you see he's not going to be set. He's open, he's open, he's wide open. That left shoulder was open, he's throwing open. Meantime, it should have been a touchdown. Hester should have caught the pass, no doubt about it. Poor technique by Wilson. He throws the ball right on the money and the receiver drops it. Here you see Mark Wilson. Of course he's upset. I don't blame him for being upset. You can't pass it and catch it too. Not very often anyway.
3rd and 5 and the fumble recovered by the Browns. But a flag is down. And let's see what the call is. Marcus Allen coughed it up. It's Chris Rockins, the strong safety, with the ball. Sam Clancy is down. Official timeout being signaled. All right, we'll be back to check this all out. Cover the Marcus Allen fumble. No flag on that play, so the fumble recovery holds up. Here it is.
Ball pops loose. You see the official on the top left-hand side of your screen. The umpire throwing his hat in there. That's the... Supposedly, they're trying to mark the spot of the fumble where it occurred. And, of course, Cleveland recovered. That's how losers are made, by the way. It drops, touchdown pass by Hester, and then you follow it up with a fumble.
So Sam Clancy on the sideline shaken up. Check him out. Browns take over at their 7. That's a critical turnover. The Raiders are marching downfield. Kevin Mack on the stop. So Rod Martin getting credit for the tackle. Namath from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Browns 17, the Raiders 3. 2nd and 6 for Cleveland from their 11-yard line. Picks up on the handoff and a fumble by Mack, but the Browns able to cover it up. Kevin Mack right on it. Long and Jones converging.
Kozar's trying to get the ball to Mack, and it looked like they were a little close. The handoff appeared to be okay, but the mesh didn't look quite right. I wouldn't know who to put the blame on there, but the important thing for the Browns is they recovered their own fumble. When the running back drops that ball, fall on it right away. Don't try and pick it up.
It is a 3rd down and 9 from the 8. Some interesting fumble recovery drills that I know that you have taken part in. A completion to Brian Brennan. Getting out to the 38-yard line, picked up 30. James Davis on the stop. Can you tell me one time during the course of practice if a football has dropped, you immediately would pounce on it?
Right now, right away. Again, Kozar is getting good protection, and he throws the ball just perfectly. Brennan, without the greatest speed in the world, is still able to get by these guys. Of course, you see Largent up at Seattle, who doesn't have the speed. He can get by the guys. You know, we used to practice that, Marv, back in college even. Anytime a ball hit the ground, it was Bryant's theory at Alabama, our coach, someone fall on it right away, developed a good habit of getting on the ball quickly.
So if you're walking down the street and someone was carrying a football and dropped it, fall on it. First down at the 38-yard line. And Kozar goes sideline. Reggie Langhorne on the short pickup, 3-yard advance. Lionel Washington made the tackle. Second down and 7 as we. And the later games, Indianapolis in front of San Diego. Second and 7 from the 41. Getting to that first down marker, picked up 8. Turan and Anderson combining to make the stop. We're halfway through this third quarter. A check of what is going on around the league in what has been a wacky season. Denver clinching a playoff berth with the Pittsburgh loss to Houston. And what it comes down to next week for the Cleveland Browns, if they beat Pittsburgh, they win the AFC Central. And that will be seen right here on NBC at 12 noon Eastern Time. Don Criqui, Bob Trumpy will be on hand for the action. Cleveland Browns, as we mentioned earlier, have had all kinds of problems at the Three Rivers Stadium. It has been a house of horrors for Cleveland. In 17 years, they've won only once in Pittsburgh, and that one win took place last season. If the Steelers win, the AFC Central is theirs. First down at the 48. Kevin Mack. Stopped by Greg Townsend. 6.5 remaining in this third quarter. This is the third West Coast trip for the Browns this season. Lost their first 2 out at San Diego and at San Francisco. Since 1984, the Browns have won only 1 of 6 games in the West. Last year, the Browns lost to the Raiders here at the Coliseum as Jim Plunkett threw for 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Dopey Williams. Second and 8 at midfield. Back to the outside and close to the first down. A 9-yard advance. Rod Martin, the outside linebacker, and safety man Eddie Anderson combining on the tackle.
Well, you can bet that that was an audible made by Kozar at the line of scrimmage. The Raiders have guys, they're running the right play every time it's snapped.
Third down and 1. And the first down picked up by Kevin Mack.
Howie Long, number 75, in the middle of the screen, gets double teamed there. Ho, Rison, and Fike both double teamed Howie Long, and Mack was able to go over the top. It's amazing how a man that size can get that high in the air. Take the old swan dive.
Kevin Mack, who goes 6 feet, 225 pounds in his third season in the NFL out of Clemson. Played a couple of years here in the USFL with the Los Angeles Express. And Kozar gunning it downfield. The intended receiver, Ernest Biner, fell down.
He's probably not used to this good a playing surface. You know, in Cleveland, they have the holes and everything, the ditches. He's used to that right now. This field's in such good shape, he's not used to it.
You're going to have the Cleveland Browns crew all over you, Joe.
Oh, they'll be the first ones to tell you, you know, they have their hands full trying to keep that field in shape.
It is a 2nd and 10. From the 40, Herman Fontenot has come on. So Fontenot and Biner now in the backfield. Round 17, Raiders 3, 4.5 left in this third quarter. And Kozar completes for the first down to Brennan. His 5th catch of the day, 11-yard pass play. James Davis on the stop of Brian Brennan. Excellent possession receiver out of Boston College.
An excellent pass protection. Brennan just breaks clean when he's supposed to. The timing is there. Davis isn't far away from him, but the timing is so good on Kozar's and Brennan's behalf that there's no way Davis can stop him.
At Boston College, Brian Brennan was a small, successful target for a small, successful quarterback by the name of Doug Flutie. First down at the Raider 29-yard line. Change of direction by Mack. Rod Martin was right there. Streak on the line. 2nd and 9. Down at the 28. And a flag thrown as Biner went for a couple. Bill Piquel on the stop. And the Browns hit with the penalty.
Penalty is indicated against the Browns.
Holding, number 61 on the offense, still 2nd down.
All right, the hold on the center, Mike Babb.
Well, you wonder why we don't hear Howie Long's name often these days. It's because he's getting tackled, he's getting held. Here he still gets in to make the tackle, but Babb had him around the legs and pulled him down. They usually assign 2 guys to block this young man, Howie Long, who's been in the Pro Bowl several times. And, hey, when you get a reputation like Long, you deserve to have 2 guys coming after you. He's that good.
2nd and 19 back at the 38. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. And Kozar completes. Short of the first down. Clarence Weathers going for 15 yards. Ron Fellows, the extra defensive back, making the stop on Weathers.
Weathers coming from the left side of the screen toward the middle of the screen. Just gets underneath the zone coverage and finally holds on to the ball. Ron Fellows trying to keep up with him. Can't do it. If you don't get pressure on Kozar, and obviously the Raiders aren't getting any pressure back there, it's tough to stop these guys with your 2nd string backfield. Again, Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes, they're starting corners. Neither one of them are in the game, so you're playing with substitutes.
Kozar now 18 out of 24. 272 yards. Looking at a 3rd down and 4. And a marker. And it is broken up, almost intercepted by Ron Fellows, number 21. Pass intended for Clarence Weathers.
Pass intended for Clarence Weathers. Ron Fellows worked up the pass.
Illegal motion at the snap call
Against Cleveland.
on the Browns. Bernie Kozar having himself another sensational season, but so much has been discussed about the awkward style and the motion. Would you tamper with it at all?
Well, it's kind of like when your car is running well. You go get the engine fixed? I would. Lindy Infante said, sure. Bernie, the offensive coordinator, says Bernie Kozar doesn't have a good passing motion. His footwork isn't that good. In the meantime, he's completing passes at a 62% clip. He's not throwing the interceptions. He's an accurate passer. Let's not fool with it. There's a time and a place to work on technique, and that's during the off-season and the places to practice field.
41-yard field goal attempt by Matt Barr. Flags thrown as they lined it up. Barr has hit 1 of 2, hit from 20, missed from 39. It's a 4th down and 4, so let's see what the penalty is. It's against the Raiders. Matt Millen offside, and so the Browns will pick up the 1st down.
On the left side of your screen, number 55, Matt Millen commits the costly error, breaks a fundamental rule of football, jumping off sides. All you have to do is catch the ball out of the corner of your eye when you're up on that line of scrimmage. Don't pay attention to the snap count. Don't anticipate the snap count, but wait until the ball moves. He just didn't wait until the ball moved, and he jumped off sides. Now Cleveland can possibly get 7.
And they have a 1st down at the Raider 18. The Browns 17, Raiders 3, minute and a half to go in this 3rd quarter. Kozar throwing. Touchdown. Webster Slaughter certainly enjoying the moment. A moment not enjoyed by Eddie Anderson.
That's right. Cozart threw that ball right into double coverage that time. Slaughter stayed to the outside. First, he beat Seal, number 43, and Seal thought he had help deep, and he does, but he doesn't have help deep to the outside. You see, Slaughter stays outside away from number 33 and is able to make the touchdown catch. Anderson couldn't get over there.
Second touchdown thrown today by Kozar, now has 21 on the season. Webster Slaughter, who caught 2 last week against Cincinnati, with his 7th touchdown of the year. Cleveland going 93 yards, holding the ball for just under 9 minutes. And now here is the extra point attempt by Matt Barr. Mike Pagel will hold. So the Browns adding to their lead. Browns 23, Raiders 3. We'll be right back. They have the annual awards handed out to the Raiderette of the Year. The Raiderette, get this, Joe, Rookie of the Year, and the best Raiderette Dancer of the Year. Moments that will not be forgotten. Vance Mueller on the return. Out to the 35-yard line. We have 1:24 left. In this third quarter, the Browns leading the Raiders by the score of 24-3. And yet another commercial timeout. So we'll be back right after these. He suffered a concussion earlier in the day, talking with outside linebacker Lyndon King. It has been all Cleveland. They lead the Raiders 24-3. We're winding down in the third quarter. The Raiders now first down from their 34. And the swing for Allen. Marcus out across the 45, 12-yard advance, and a first down. Frank Minifield, the left corner, made the stop.
Cleveland's defense on the last play played a very soft type zone defense. They dropped back in the coverage, enabled Allen to get the ball in his hands and have running room to spare. That was the big first down play.
First down from the 46. And Bob Golick making the stop, a 2-yard pickup.
Bob Golick on the tackle.
Cleveland Browns need a victory next week over the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, and that would clinch the AFC Central race. There are many other possibilities, and I know Joe will be running them down at greater detail later in this fourth quarter. Actually, we have 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Second down play, and broken up. Pass intended for Marcus Allen. Clay Matthews on the stop. Next Saturday here on NBC, starting at 12 noon Eastern Time. It will be Pittsburgh and Cleveland. They met back in week number 2 in Cleveland. A horrendous day for Mark Wilson, intercepted 5 times. This one of the interceptions picked off by Clay Matthews. I should say Mark Malone had that rough day. There's a Freudian slip. Joe, scorecard is even at 1-1. Cleveland winning that first game going away. So that'll be next Saturday here on NBC. And Wilson throwing on the run. It is incomplete. And for Dixon on the stop. Pass intended for Jesse Hester with just 3 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Wilson did everything he could to try and get the first down. They had third down, 16, 17 yards. Pass protection broke down when he couldn't find anybody, so Mark moves to his left here nicely. We'll see an open receiver just in front of Mark possibly, but he knows he can't get the first down, so he chooses the deep receiver, and Hanford Dixon makes a good play on the ball.
And in punt formation is Stan Talley. His 4th punt of the day. First-year man from Texas Christian. Last year, Talley was in the Browns camp and was beaten out by Jeff Gossett, who recently was dropped by the Browns and then picked up by Houston. The return by McNeil, 36-yard punt, 11-yard return, and that is it for the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3, Cleveland 24, the LA. Very complicated situation in the AFC Central. The intended receiver was Ozzie Newsome. Jerry Robinson on the coverage. It'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 36.
Hey, it's getting time for Ozzie Newsome to catch a pass here. He was one-on-one that time with Jerry Robinson and open. The ball was there, but Ozzie just didn't hold on to the pass.
Ozzie Newsome in his 10th year out of Alabama, 3-time Pro Bowl player. Last year he considered retirement. A frustrating injury-plagued season, but changed his mind. 2nd down and 10. And now Newsome with his first catch of the day, stopped by Eddie Anderson. So Ozzie Newsome continues that consecutive game streak.
You had to get rid of the ball quickly. Kozar read the safety blitz on the left side of the screen. You'll see the safety coming in on Kozar. Or there he is, number 30, Turan, leaves Newsome wide open, where Anderson comes over and makes the tackle. But Kozar doesn't get rid of the ball quickly, then Turan is going to be in on Kozar. So it was a good read by Bernie.
That a streak continuing play, only a 2-yard pickup, and a 3rd down and 8. Intercepted. Stacy Turan picking it off. And goes 48 yards for the score. Brian Brennan, the intended receiver, and Bernie Kosar intercepted for only the 8th time this season. That is low in the NFL.
Good catch by Turan. Ball slightly underthrown. Turan gets up in the air high. Get up there. Makes the nice catch and a good run back. You know, a few plays back, Jesse Hester holds on to the ball in the end zone, and we don't have the fumble by the Raiders. You have a different looking game right now. This interception certainly does make it a lot closer, and we'll see if the Raiders can grow with what momentum they have right now.
Stacy Turan having his best season in the NFL. That's his 3rd interception of the year. Chris Barr putting it through. 2nd time he's run one back for a touchdown. Stacy Turan, 4-year man from Notre Dame. And the Raiders now trail the Browns 24-10.
Played all afternoon, and with this interception, they can get some momentum going. But after watching the first 3 quarters of this game, there's no doubt in my mind which team is the better of the two. That, of course, being the Cleveland Browns.
Well, a confusion off the kickoff. Reggie Langhorne finally got to it. Andy Parker on the tackle of Langhorne. Here it is again as Glenn Young muffed it. Langhorne providing some help and got it out to the 9-yard line.
Pretty good return, you know. Had they had the ball on the 1 or 2 yard line, we would see some problems for the Brown offense. Right now they have a little more working room, I'd say.
And this crowd, which has been very quiet and is usually very quiet, showing some signs, urging the Raider defensive unit on. Kevin Mack to the 14, picked up 5. It'll be a 2nd down and 5. Greg Townsend, Rod Martin combining on the stop.
A good surge by the Cleveland offensive line that time. Babb, Rising, Fike, they all got in there that time to get the blocking going. You know, the games are usually won, you've heard it time and again, at the line of scrimmage. Well, today we can't say that. I think the cornerbacks have been the problem with the Raiders, but the offensive line of the Browns is still continuing to do a good job.
Biner is split wide to the left, top of your screen. the lone deep back. Here's Kevin Mack. Across the 15, Bill Piquel on the stop. It'll be a 3rd down and 3.
Sure, Coach Schottenheimer's concerned.
Browns seeking a rare victory against the Raiders. Raiders have won 8 of 9 all time during the course of the regular season. 3rd down and 2. And Kosar overthrowing Slaughter. So the Browns are held. Sam Seal covering Webster Slaughter.
Yeah, number 99, Sean Jones, is going to apply some pressure here. Kosar just gets rid of the ball when he gets the hit by Sean Jones.
And we will see the first punt of the day by the Cleveland Browns. That's how well things have been going. Lee Johnson, who was recently picked up, appeared in his first game last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and gets the good roll. Chris Woods was the deep man along with Fontenot chasing it down. It's a 38-yard punt by Johnson. Dissatisfaction with the punting of Jeff Gossett and George Winslow, leading to the change in the kicking on the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Browns 24, Raiders 10, and the Raiders now take over from their 46-yard line. Wilson able to complete. Christensen picked up 11. Another first down for the Raiders, who are showing spark for the first time today.
Well, he's hitting his receivers a little bit. Christensen's been open working the middle, but they've come to life on defense. Of course, with the interception, then stopping this last Cleveland effort. So if the offense can get something mounted here, the Raiders can get right back in this game.
Raiders first down at the Cleveland 43-yard line. And again, the completion for the first down. Chris Woods on the catch for 14. Felix Wright on the tackle, and some words between Woods and Wright. Chris Woods with his first catch of the season.
On the left side of the screen, number 88, Chris Woods, just going to put pressure on the cornerback and then hook up in the spot. Malone, Malone again. Wilson delivers the ball right on time. The pass protection was there. You give Wilson time, he'll find a receiver.
First down from the 29. Vance Mueller, the ball carrier. Down to 10.5 remaining in this fourth quarter.
Johnson, Mike Johnson.
Up on that last play. It is a 2nd and 10. Raiders up to Cleveland 29. Browns leading the Raiders 24-10, and Wilson is hauled down. So Mark Wilson takes the sack, 3rd sack of the day for the Browns, and it's Carl Hairston making it 7.5 on the season.
Carl Hairston in the center of your screen, number 78, just goes to the outside. They ran a little end tackle game that it's called in football, where the defensive end for the Browns came to his left and Carl looped around to the other side and no one picked him up. Carl seemed to recover fully from that injury in the first quarter and seems to be just fine now.
It is a 3rd and 18 from the 37. And Wilson in trouble again. Out of the way as he was chased by Dave Pazzulli. Pass intended for Chris Woods. Dave Pazzulli, man who came off the bench last season for 6 sacks, is 5 this year in his 5th year out of Pittsburgh.
You have to credit the defensive front this time. This pattern just took too much time for Mark Wilson to wait around to be able to throw the ball. He was forced out of the pocket long before Woods came open. So you have to give credit to defensive pressure by the Browns on the last play.
And the Raiders in punt formation. Here is Stan Talley getting set to punt to Gerald McNeil. His 5th punt of the day. Stan Talley, who has been inconsistent. And McNeil let it go. Stephon Adams try to keep it away from the end zone. A 37-yard punt. They'll bring it out to the 20 with 9.5 remaining in this 4th quarter. The Browns lead it by 14. Capacity here at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum is 92,000 plus. So it looks a little sparse out there with the crowd of 40 on hand. First down from the 20. And Ernest Biner went for 5. Stopped by the nose tackle, Bill Pickell.
Jerry Robinson and Bill Pickell on the stop for the Raiders. Yeah, 5 yards.
Well, look at the student and the teacher, Art Shell. Great All-Pro. He wore number 78. Rookie John Clay wearing that number now. John Clay, number 1 draft pick out of University of Missouri. Get back after sitting out the last 2 weeks because of the ankle problem. Biner. And he has the first down. 6-yard advance. Lionel Washington up from his right cornerback position. Indianapolis leading San Diego. San Francisco winning big over Atlanta. St. Louis over Tampa Bay. And earlier the Bears lost their 2nd in a row. Houston knocking off Pittsburgh. Minnesota beating Detroit. We'll bring you up to date. It's a first down at the 31-yard line. Long count by Kozar. And Biner stopped by Robinson, the inside linebacker. Picked up 6. It'll be a 2nd and 4. Jets knocked out of it by the Eagles. New England is making a run. They walloped the Jets last week, knocking off Buffalo today. New Orleans with their 8th straight win. Now as we look to that ball game next Saturday with Pittsburgh at home for Cleveland. If Cleveland beats Pittsburgh, they win the AFC Central. If Pittsburgh wins it and if Houston wins, Houston will win on the tiebreaker. Steelers can do it as a wild card. And Brennan off the sideline pattern is bumped out just short of the first down at the 40-yard line. Lionel Washington made the stop. Well, the last 4 years, Browns with only that 1 win in 6 games on the West Coast. They lost their 2 previous games out of the West this season. And won at the 40. Second back coming through, Kevin Mack surging, looking for that first down. Jerry Robinson made the stop. And picked up the first down.
I'll tell you, this impresses me. This offensive football team right now, keeping the ball on the ground, running the clock the way they need to run it. They have a 2-touchdown lead. They're only mixing the throwing whenever they need to mix it in. This series, the last defensive series by the Browns, was probably their biggest defensive series of the game, shutting down the Raiders, not allowing them to get close. This impresses me. These guys do look like a playoff team and one to contend with for sure.
And they have a first down at the 42-yard line. Ernest Biner stopped by Stacy Turan. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Raiders and the National Football League is prohibited. This game the property of the NFL and the Raiders and Browns. Second down and 10. 7th play of the drive, and the Browns certainly taking their time. They're averaging, we're told, 28 seconds on the 30-second clock. Kevin Mack, the ball carrier, so they're just looking to eat up that clock, and certainly have been succeeding.
Right, Bill Pickell on the tackle, good lateral movement. Well, they have confidence in their defense. They know right now if they can run the clock down to 4 minutes or whatever from this field position, we're not going to allow the Raiders to get good field position. They can back them up with the punt. So Marty Schottenheimer is playing the percentages. He's telling his team, hey, let's not turn the ball over. We'll go ahead and count on our defense to stop the Raiders if we have to punt.
And that clock is run down to 5 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. It's a 3rd and 8. Kosar just did get it away, but incomplete. Slingshot toss by Kosar, intended for Weathers, covered by Fellows.
Rod Martin all over Kosar that time. There's Greg Townsend, number 93. Kosar has a unique knack of being able to release the ball just before he gets the hit. Here you see Townsend lay a good lick on him, and ooh, that hurts, especially when the back of the head hits the ground. Meantime, it still could have been caught. The ball was a very catchable pass.
Lee Johnson has had a very quiet day. That's Chris Woods. Woods out of the Canadian Football League, one of their top punt return men the past 3 years. But hasn't had a chance to run one back. 41-yard punt, and a timeout called with 4:43 left, 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. Cleveland Browns have had an enjoyable day. Bernie Kosar with the magnificent first half. Browns led at the half 17-3. They now lead at 24-10. Raiders attempting to get back.
These are special children, and this is a special play.
Off that interception by Stacey Turan, and he returned it 48 yards for the score. And now the Raiders first down from their 15-yard line. Marcus Allen, Vance Mueller.
These are special children.
Running backs.
And this is
And Wilson in trouble. And the play blown dead. Al Baker will get credit for the sack.
Al Baker will get credit for the sack, but it was the middle of the line that forced him out of there. You see here Harrison coming in, and he's the one that forces Wilson to the left, right out there to big Al Baker. It was either an in the grasp or certainly an intentional grounding call, one of the two, and they went for the in the grasp.
4th sack of the day by the Browns, and Al Bubba Baker comes up with his 4th of the season. He is among the NFL's top sack men among active players. 2nd down and 21. Allen out to the 14-yard line, met by the right corner, Hanford Dixon.
Down by 2 and strike, Chris Rocket.
We've seen a well-played game today by the Cleveland Browns. Offensively, defensively, their punting hasn't been as good as you'd like it, but he's only had to do it a couple of times. They've been short punts. Of course, Barr missed 1 field goal, but overall, offensively and defensively, they've won the 2 phases, 2 of the 3 phases of the game they need to win.
And this crowd beginning to file out, only 40,000 on hand. It has not been one of the thrillers of the season, but the Browns certainly have enjoyed themselves. James Lofton on the reception. 14-yard pass play. Mark Hopper made the stop, and the first down picked up by the Raiders. Cleveland really didn't have a great deal to lose today outside of home field prospects for the playoffs, but as you mentioned right at the start, winning does breed winning. And once you let down, that can have an effect the following week. Incomplete pass intended for the tight end Todd Christensen, covered by Chris Rockins. But the game that the Browns are pointing toward is next week, next Saturday afternoon, against the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Sure, and again, the Browns are convincing themselves that they're a good team. They know that they can win games away from home. Now, Pittsburgh, having lost to Houston, certainly is not going to feel as good about the upcoming game as they would have had they won the game. Football is a game of emotions, man, and desire. And every little bit of positive thinking helps when you get out in that field.
2nd and 10 from the 28. And Wilson got it away to Allen. And he is able to extend for the first down up to the 40-yard line. Picked up 12. Clay Matthews on the stop. Clock is running down to 2:45 remaining in this fourth quarter. This LA Raider team in transition as you watch Wilson again not able to find anyone and then has to run it out of bounds. Now, Joe, you went through this with the Jets following the championship year of the contending seasons. How difficult is it to lose after so many years of success?
It's an awful feeling. I mean, you see guys come and go, guys that really aren't good players. It's frustrating for you to be on a team that does not have a lot of good players. The Raiders certainly have had injuries as an excuse, and the strike situation. But getting back to the Raiders' losing streak, I know it was a combination of trying to get a young offensive line together or a new offensive line and young, coupled with trying to train a new quarterback, a young quarterback. It's just not going to get done.
And Wilson completes to Christensen. 19-yard pass play. And the ball is spotted at the Cleveland 40. And the Raiders right up to the line as we approach 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. First down at the Brown 40-yard line. Wilson getting the time and looks to run for the first down. He has it. And now just under 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. So the 12-yard sprint by Mark Wilson.
Coach Schottenheimer is going to have to think about getting a different group of pass rushers in here. Here's James Lofton running downfield. Seems he has the man beaten, but Wilson went the other way. I'm sure Lofton's a little tired from running these pass patterns all day too. He looks tired, but the group of guys that are tired right now are the pass rushers for the Cleveland Browns. They're going to have to get someone there to rush Wilson. Otherwise, he's going to move the ball into scoring position.
And a timeout with 1:57 remaining in this fourth quarter. We've seen combinations of Al Baker and Dave Pazzulli and Darrell Sims along with Golick and Hairston. Very nice, Joe. Would you explain that? First down from the 28-yard line. James Lofton, 28-yard touchdown pass play. Hanford Dixon on the coverage. So Lofton with his 5th touchdown catch of the season, and with 1:51 remaining in the fourth quarter, if the extra point is converted, the Raiders only a touchdown away.
That's right, an onside kick or even a kickoff. They still have plenty of time to get the, well, not plenty of time, but they have some time to get the ball back. James Lofton with just a sensational catch. I mean, Dixon was right there with him. The ball was in the right place, and Lofton extended himself to make a great catch.
And Chris Barr puts it through. So the Browns now lead the Raiders by the score of 24-17, but you never had the feeling that this is a 24-17 ball game.
Well, it's not over. Here you see in the bottom right, Lofton fighting for position and just makes a diving catch.
James Lofton with the touchdown catch, and it is now Browns 24 and the Raiders 17.
Can't help but wonder what this would have been like if Hester holds the ball in the end zone for the touchdown rather than drop it and then the Raiders fumble the next play and Cleveland takes it down to score. That was a 14-point swing then.
So Marty Schottenheimer taking a walk. This was on the verge of a blowout. The Raiders clawing their way back into it. Chris Barr will kick it off. Gerald McNeil is the lone deep man, but Browns expect that Barr will put it on the ground with 1:51 to go in this fourth quarter. So the Browns now clinging to a 7-point lead.
Raiders have 3 timeouts to work with, though, so that's to their advantage.
Well, he does go deep. And here is McNeil on the return. And we would like to welcome all of those who are joining us with the Cleveland Browns leading the Los Angeles Raiders by the score of 24-17 just a moment ago. It was Mark Wilson combining with James Lofton on a 28-yard pass play, and suddenly the Raiders are back into it with just 1:46 to go in this fourth quarter.
Lofton makes a fine diving catch here ahead of Hanford Dixon. We've been talking about the possibility of going deep to Lofton the entire game. They finally did it. Now the Raiders have 3 timeouts to use to possibly get the ball back.
Marv Albert, Joe Namath from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And Kozar goes to the ground to Mack. Kevin Mack stopped. And the clock is stopped. A loss of 2 on the play. Timeout has been called.
Mack trying to get to the outside. Now the Raiders are going to call timeout as quickly as possible, as soon as they can. That's Robinson making the tackle from the backside, number 57. They have 2 more timeouts they can use.
Ernie Kozar has had another terrific day. He's thrown a couple, intercepted once. That for a touchdown by Stacy Turan, who ran it back 48 yards. Biner going for 48 yards. The Browns have obviously done it in the air, and the key man has been Webster Slaughter with 7 receptions and 1 touchdown. 4 sacks for the Browns. They've been all over Mark Wilson. And Wilson at 23 for 36, but really didn't get anything going until that fourth quarter drive, and then he completed it with the pass to Lofton. Marcus Allen has certainly been held in check. Bo Jackson sitting it out today because of the sprained ankle. Marcus Allen with 9 catches, though, for 83 yards.
Well, the big play when I look back is the one that Hester dropped in the end zone, the touchdown pass that Wilson threw to him. Hester holds on to it. We have a different game.
2nd and 11 from the 17. Minute 39 remaining, fourth quarter. And Ernest Biner brings up to the 21-yard line. Again, a timeout is taken. 6-yard advance. Lyndon King, the outside linebacker, made the stop. To those viewers who have just joined us to watch Rags to Riches, please stay tuned. Rags to Riches will be seen in its entirety immediately following football, except for Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where the program will be seen at its regular time. It will be a 3rd down and 6. The ball is spotted at the 22-yard line. The Raiders are down to 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, that's why I'd keep the ball on the ground once more. If I were the Browns quarterback or coach, I wouldn't even chance putting it up in the air. You might have an incompletion and do the Raiders a favor by stopping the clock. Put it on the ground once more. If you don't make the 1st down, the Raiders are going to have to call timeout, or they're going to lose a lot of valuable time from the clock. What you have to worry about is a blocked punt possibility.
Browns have had their difficulties scoring points in the fourth quarter the last 7 or 8 games, although they have had leads and, of course, have sat on the ball. So that's a tough stat to really measure, but they have been blanked here today. Cleveland with that 7-point lead. You see the time left in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 6. Flag thrown as Biner goes for the 1st down and some more, but a penalty marker is down. Ernest Biner getting outside and ran for 22, but let's see what this call is all about. The call against the Raiders, Greg Townsend. So the play will hold. And Biner for 22 yards gets the Browns out of a hole with 1:24 remaining.
I think Biner's run just now ended the Raiders' hopes. I can see the Browns keeping on the ground again, and the Raiders just going to have to call timeout one more time, and then the Browns can run the clock out.
Raiders are down to 1 timeout left. Browns have their 3 remaining. Get to the ground for Biner. Clock is running, and now it is stopped as the Raiders use their final timeout. Minute 18 left, fourth quarter, and the Browns lead it by 7. Albert, Joe Namath from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Marty Schottenheimer looking to get out of here with a rare West Coast victory for the Cleveland Browns. Earlier they lost San Diego and at San Francisco. Since 1984, the Browns have won only 1 of 6 games in the West. Last year they lost to the Raiders here at the Coliseum, as the Raiders were led by Jim Plunkett, who threw for 3 touchdowns. So now Bernie Kosar just looking to run it out. And Kevin Mack with 1:10 and the clock running, able to advance it for 9.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that it even handed off at this point, but you notice Kevin Mack had both hands wrapped on that ball. He's not going to try and do anything fancy right now, just make sure he holds on to the ball.
Our producer today, Glenn Adamo, our director, Dick Klein, statistician Dennis Mnuchin, our spotters, Gretchen Meyer, Chuck Panama, and we thank you all as you see the clock running down to 40 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. This looks like Kosar will just hold on. Yes. Cleveland Browns led it 17-3 at the half, and then they extended to 24-3. The interception and the 48-yard return by Stacy Turan did get the Raiders back into it, and then Wilson did connect with Lofton, and that's how it ends. The Browns over the Raiders by the score of 24-17. So the Raiders drop to 5-9. The Browns to 9 up and 5 down. But it comes down to next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. And our Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Cleveland quarterback Bernie Kosar. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. We'll be back to wrap it in a moment.